So I've never actually really thought of myself as a millennial. It's always, that's those younger kids that are growing up with the internet and that are always on their phones and they don't think the same way. The me generation, the I generation. But actually, looking at statistics, I do fit into that bracket. They make up the majority of the future consumers for the next foreseeable future. So we need to focus on them, especially as marketers. I thought it'd be interesting to look at how I consume and the behavior that I have when I'm out online or in the world looking at brands and products. A good example would be how my consumer behavior differs to my dad's. If we were both going to buy a set of headphones, my dad would walk into JB Hi-Fi, he needs to buy some headphones. He'd have a price point in mind, he might let them know the price point. They'll show him a couple of options, he'll make a decision pretty quickly and he'll walk out. But that's probably about where it ends for him. That's the sort of journey of his headphone purchase. I'm going to go out and research, I'm going to be on CNET, I'm going to be on eBay, I'm going to be on YouTube. I might be asking friends, I might put a post up on Facebook. And then I may go into a JB Hi-Fi, let's say, but I'm going to walk up to the counter knowing what I want. I'll purchase them, I'll walk out, but my journey doesn't really end there. That becomes then a part of who I am. I'll wear those headphones, I'll probably take a photo of them, I'll post it on social. But because I've gone through that process, I feel as if they're more a part of who I am. I've sort of co-opted the brand. So I think that process there kind of highlights key differences in consumer behavior between boomers and some of the younger generation. Things that millennials really want is they're looking for brands that are authentic. And I know I hate the word authentic, and it's in marketing circles especially, it gets thrown around a lot, but it does sum up what people are looking for. They're looking for brands that aren't standing on a soapbox and screaming out a generic message. They want to see real people behind companies, and they want to see a real message that actually means something and stands for something. Because millennials are critical consumers. They do their research. You need to be critical as an advertiser or as a marketer to actually cut through to those audiences. So does that mean that we're spoiled brats? Does it mean millennials are spoiled brats? Maybe a little bit. We've probably had some things good in our lives, but also some things in terms of the economy and the environment are potentially going downwards. And that's what makes millennials potentially critical consumers, but also quite a good audience to market towards because they are savvy and they are loyal if you can actually grab their attention. Probably one of the biggest points that I'll make today is that social media is not a megaphone. It used to work for TVCs or mass media where you could just get out there and yell to as many people as possible with a generic message and hope something stuck. That really doesn't cut through on social media today. You need to be going out there and creating conversations, and starting relationships, and people, and especially in the younger generations, they want to be spoken to as individuals. If I want to sum up the way I like to be marketed to, which is assuming that I represent millennials, I want businesses to talk to me, not at me. I think that's really, really important. I want them to understand that I'm going to do my research, I'm going to look behind the scenes, I'm going to look under the covers. You can't pull the wool over my eyes as a consumer. And I'm looking for a brand that does have a strong sense of purpose, that understands who they are, what their why is, and are putting effort into creating unique experiences or unique products, whatever they may be. And that's exactly what we preach here at Digital Noir. We love going through with new brands or existing brands, how are you communicating that deeper sense of personality? Because brands that don't understand themselves very well struggle out in the market, especially advertising towards younger generations. So it turns out that I am a self-serving, authenticity craving, selfie-taking millennial after all, which probably puts me in good stead to understand how they think. So if you're interested in marketing to millennials or want some more information about how you can cut through and start these conversations online, just Google Digital Noir, you'll find us everywhere, and you can shoot us an email or give us a phone call, and we'd love to talk. Cheers.